Hello, and welcome to Afternoon Tea with Karen and Post Hate Speech Laws for Victoria and How We Got Here, Part 2. From the ABC News yesterday, Victoria's anti-vilification laws are set to be expanded to cover disability, gender identity, sex and sexual orientation. Changes to the Racial and Religious Tolerance Act are expected to be tabled in Victorian Parliament later this month. Victoria's hate speech laws will be drastically expanded beyond race and religion to protect the LGBTQIA plus anything else they'd like to add in the future community. Oh, and people with a disability. But it's not really that much about them because we've learned all about the Trans Justice Project, and we know it's mostly about the T and the Q people, unless they're not people and they're furries. The threshold for police to bring criminal charges will be significantly lowered. This isn't about curtailing people's ability to practice the religion that they hold. This is squarely about protecting vulnerable people from hate speech, Attorney General Jacqueline Sims told the ABC. So, an example of this would be if you said or posted online something as horrible as non binary isn't real, drag queens don't need to read to children, it's creepy that they want them to reject heteronormativity and join the rainbow. Trans women aren't women, they're men, and they don't belong in women's sports, change rooms, or prisons because that would end up landing you in prison potentially. If there are communications, however, that are done in reason and genuine good faith observance of religious practice, that would be an exception under the law as it currently is. Oh, well, I think I've just found God and need to start a religion and build the Church of Karen. And before I get carried away, let's get back to how we got here. So, in part one, we had a look at the Victorian Equal Opportunity and Human Rights Commission made a submission to the Parliamentary Inquiry into Victoria's anti-vilification protections back in 2020. From 2022, creating stronger laws to protect Victorians from hate conduct. Our vision for all Victorians to be able to live free from hate conduct in our community through stronger legal protections. So it's against the law for you to hate. The problem, we've looked at the problem in part one. Since 2002, there have only been 2 successful cases of vilification. So they're going to lower the threshold. They already have lowered the threshold for hate speech and including protections for the LGBTQIA plus people, women and men who self-ID as women, and people with disabilities. Now, this is also in part one. However, since then, I've thought of an example for introduce a new complementary harm-based civil provision. This test would be an objective assessment of the harm caused and experienced from the perspective of the target rather than having to provide evidence that a third party was motivated to act in a hateful way. An example of this would be in a restaurant and the waiter or waitress would accidentally misgender the trans woman and think that they were a man and call them sir and he and him. And then they could make a complaint against them for vilification, also probably make a TikTok. Commission needs stronger powers to receive and resolve complaints of vilification, particularly in the age of anonymous online abuse. So anyway, what we are doing Commission is working hard to advocate for stronger legal protections to protect Victorians from hate conduct. We've made submissions to a range of inquiries and reviews. The Commission has developed a community reporting tool. As part of the Multicultural and Multi-Faith Engagement Action Plan between 2013 and 2022, the Commission provided 138 education and information sessions on racial and religious vilification under the RRT, attended by nearly 4,000 people. So that's 444 people per year and 28 people that went to each of the education and information sessions. In 2019, the Commission hosted consultation with faith leaders in collaboration with the Australian Human Rights Commission. Progress on reform. September 21, the Victorian Government responded to Victorian Parliament's Legal and Social Issues Committee report on its inquiry into anti-vilification protections in Victoria. We are pleased to note the government in principle support for the committee's recommendations, which, when implemented, will strengthen Victorians' ability to prevent and respond to hate directed against people in our community. One step that has already been taken by the Victorian Government was to pass a new law in June 2022 and made it a criminal offence for a person to intentionally display the Nazi swastika in public. Anyone who intentionally displays the symbol will face penalties of up to $22,000, 12 months imprisonment, or both. And then the following year in October, they added the Nazi salute to that. In 2021, from Victoria Legal Aid, welcome commitment to stronger protections from hate speech. We commend the Victorian Government's commitment to stronger laws, systems and services to prevent and address vilification and hate conduct in Victoria. Now to 2024. 8th of November. White supremacist Jacob Assange to appeal a 1-month jail sentence for Nazi salute. Prominent neo-Nazi and member of the National Socialist Network was sentenced in the Melbourne Magistrate Court on Friday morning. The white man is not superior to any other race of people, Magistrate Brett Sonnet said. Well, then, if that's the case, what's the point of diversity, equity, and inclusion if they're not? Anyway, Hassan's lawyer, Tim Smart, said his client would be appealing both the conviction and the sentence. His mum looks like she needs a big hug. And you can pause and read that because I just want to get to this bit. He has also told his supporters not to send him any money because his lawyers' fees were taxpayer funded through legal aid. Academic Josh Roost, whose research expertise included the rise of the far right, said the National Socialist Network sought to attract young men at the margins who are angry about their particular lot in life. There is a danger of people being attracted to these movements and then carrying out individual attacks. Well, these guys wouldn't because they need at least 2 of them to hold up their banners and another one to take the photos. Anyway, let's watch some telly.
Jacob Assange had been warned he'd be sent to jail for performing an illegal Nazi salute.
I'm ready to go to jail because I'm a Hitler soldier and what I'm doing is right.
But less than an hour after being sentenced to 1 month behind bars, he was back out on bail.
It's an honourable thing. It is an honourable thing to be persecuted for your beliefs.
The white supremacist was allowed to walk free because he plans to appeal his sentence and conviction in the county court. He's the first person to be convicted of the offence after the state government passed laws banning Nazi salutes last year.
This appeal is a desperate attempt by her son to dodge responsibility and to avoid facing the price and the punishment that he deserves.
The magistrate described his sentence as relatively lenient. The maximum penalty for the new offence is 12 months behind bars.
There will be some people who say that it's a slap on the wrist and it doesn't really reflect the gravity of the crime, that he was saluting genocide. But it's a start.
So, how much jail time do you think people should get if they protest trans women in women's sports? Like, if you don't want to be tackled by this big burly trans woman on the footy field and you forfeit, what's going to happen to you? So, the future of women's sports in Victoria is on the shoulder of this guy. Like, you couldn't make it up, could you? And that will do. See you later. Bye.